what I have for you guys today is one of my favorite crankbaits for big fish like stripers, and primarily my big fish is stripers, or used to be stripers when I used to live up in the New England area. And this lure, the Bomber Magnum Long A, the 16A. Let me see if I can zoom in for you guys. There it is, the Bomber 16A Magnum Long A. This guy has been my favorite crankbait for stripers. I'm talking stripers that are above 28 inches, right? This lure is big enough in terms of size to attract a bigger fish, and anything smaller than that usually won't hit it. This lure is really deadly for stripers at night. During full moon, no moon, doesn't matter. It's gonna attract some hits, and I fished it for at least 5 years. A majority of the fish I've caught are over 28 inch when you're using this one, especially the longer Long A Magnum, or even the bigger version of this, which breaks here in half, or there's even another one that's still a solid body but only hangs 2 hooks. If you're using those, usually your hits are going to be over 28 inches, and for most of those states up there, the minimum size is 28 inch, and this is a good lure for stripers for that size. Comes with good treble hooks. They're not the best out there, but they can usually do the job. If you figure out that you've been having one of those awesome nights, you might want to check your hooks after 2 or 3 good striper runs, because I know they can bend these hooks. I've changed them to Gary Matsu's or Gamatsu's hooks before, and these baits they're pretty well built too. It's not a cheap bait that's gonna crack on you. I've cast them hitting rocks, hitting all types of things, and they've never just snapped in two. There's a lot of scratches and things like that to be expected, especially if you're trying to hit up rocks or areas like that. And it's always a very, very effective bait. It comes in, the traditional black reflective colors. It's also got the blue one. They also come with the black with the orange bottom, and they also come with in this color. This is also another hot color. The white and the red head is also a very hot color. I know one of our members actually prefers this color over this, but this is my favorite color, just because it looks the most like the actual live bait that's in the water. And this is really especially deadly during the herring runs. Okay, for all the viewers up in the northeast, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, even New Jersey area, striper runs, herring runs, this is the lure to use. Okay, if you're not on top water and say top water slow, or there's just if there's no herring to be found, once again, this is a killer lure. This one's 6 inches long, but in the water when it's reflecting, I'm pretty sure it'll mimic your 8-inch herring very, very well. Okay, so cranking at night, that's where this lure excels. And I just wanted to show a couple other sizes here. I don't live in New England anymore. I used to. I fished up there for about 10 years, and during the time I was up there, we used a lot of the herring that we get from the rivers. But I just looked that up, and it seems like, I don't know, I could be wrong at the time of this recording, and according to what I read on the regulations, the government regulations for herring, they say that you can't have any, or it's illegal to even possess them. So that opens up the world to these guys, and these guys can be your friend. Okay, they can catch all the stripers you've always caught before with river herring, and river herring is always the number one choice when I was up there for most anglers. And if they don't get a river herring, some of them just turn around and go home. But I usually stick around, because I know that if no one can catch herring that day, that means the stripers are hungry. And if stripers are hungry, they'll hit just about anything. And when that happens, I will just stick around, wait till the sun goes down, and as soon as the sun goes down, as soon as you throw these out, you got to be kind of patient. You got to wait for the sun to go down. You don't want to harass the stripers. Let the sun go down, cast these out around 9:30, 10 o'clock, and boy, you are ready for a good show of stripers. And that's how my game plan was up there for 3 to 4 years for fishing stripers around the Boston area and even down in Rhode Island in the Warwick area. And this has been my favorite lure for stripers for many, many, many years. I have another lure that I use in conjunction with this lure, because after you've thrown it out maybe 50 or 60 different times, the stripers might get accustomed to it. So then you got to change it up a little bit, but just a little bit, just to the point where fish will react to another type of crankbait. But on this bait, it might be kind of slow. So here we go. That's the kind of like the first general review on it. I have nothing bad to say about these lures. I've used these with confidence. Every once in a while, you will have this hook on the end pull out. That's basically just because you've been throwing this into rocks or whatever, and this can split, and once it does split, this hook will easily fall out. Other than that, I've never had much issues with these. They are fairly heavy. Let me see, how heavy are these? I don't know, but it's probably about a half ounce or 3/4 ounce lure, 6 inches long, and when you cast them with a 12-15 pound line, they do go quite the distance. Okay, so it's also a good exploring lure. It'll dive about 3 to 4 feet depending on your line, how fast you crank, current or no current, that type of stuff. But yeah, I usually fish them or try to get them to go down to about a foot off the rocks. So I'll crank them decently fast. When I first get out there, I'll crank them pretty fast. I'll get them to hit the rocks, and that's when I know that's my retrieve speed that I should not be in, and then I'll back it off just a little bit, so you can feel that maybe it's coming off the rocks, maybe 5-6 inches off the bottom of the rocks, and yeah, they'll hit really, really good. I've had some luck with these at the Cape Cod Canal also, and once again, it's night fishing, so it's always good to fish these at night. And it's really the only time I usually fish these at night, or crankbaits in general at night. Other than that, I'm usually fishing some other type of lures, which I'll cover later for my striper fishing experience. And this isn't really just my experience; it's my team's experience, and my other angling friends from New England, their experiences also. And I was actually introduced to this lure from one of my friends from up north when I was living up there, before I got into the big striper craze. And I understand the striper craziness up there is it's on a whole new level compared to everywhere else around the world. Okay, for the price on these aren't too bad. They usually range for about $6.50 to about $10, depending where you go. If you buy these at Walmart, you're looking at about $7, $7.50, maybe $8. Okay, if you get them online, I've gotten them before for $6.50 and from some retailers. If you buy it at a bait shop right next to the river, you're looking at $10 or slightly above that, just because supply and demand. And people are always charging a little bit more because of, I consider it special delivery, since it's only a couple feet away from the river itself. Okay, so what's new? What's kind of unique or sets this lure apart from the other lures that you might find out there? Okay, so I'm gonna cover that because I believe that might be one of the reasons why these lures work as well as they do. All right, so just by looking at it, the shape isn't all that special. I mean, you've seen these shapes before. You know, your General Rapalas, your Strike Kings, they all come in this shape. But this is the first time I fished a lure that has its reflective paint or reflective properties, or its mirror image inside the lure itself. Okay, it's not it's not like this thing is whole and then they painted it chrome on the outside. So because if you did that, after a while when the hooks are rubbing up against it, that paint's going to peel off. Or if you're fishing for, say, this bait is also good on bluefish, and they have piranha-like teeth. And after some hits, you're going to get your paint all scratched up, or in my case, I'm fishing around rocks and things like that. So if you hit a rock, the paint's going to chip off. But so far, from my experience, that really isn't a problem because the reflective property is actually inside the lure. It's like a flat surface. It's almost like they divided it right in half and they painted inside, and then you can see the reflection on the outside, just like that. And then the only paint that's on the outside that I can see is here in the eyes. You can see that's a painted eye. I don't think that's an embedded eye of any type. And the general type of layout of a fish is just painted on here. But as you can see, it's just little speckles of black pieces that'll allow it to look like it scales, okay? But the majority of the work is done on the inside of the lure. And the hook anchors you can actually see right there. Let's see if I can zoom in for you guys so you can see better angle. There we go. Hook anchor bolts or anchors are right there. They're done pretty well. Never really had an issue with it except for this one. This one doesn't have as much plastic surroundings on the anchor as do these other ones, so they tend to sometimes pull out. I've had that happen to me before, and a couple of my other guys, they've had that happen on occasion. But that's just because it's an older lure that should have been replaced already, but we kept on using it. So once you see that starting to split up, you should basically replace this lure. Okay, so there you go. There's also a ball. This is a regular ball in the head of the fish that makes your rattling sound, and I'll rattle it for you just so you can see it. It's not a really aggressive rattle. It's just more very subtle rattle, just like that. And that's what you hear too when you're reeling it in. So that's the rattle. Nothing too fancy about it, but like I said, maybe it's just these simple things that makes it work. And the reflection works very well. And when the fish is coming through, you can see the fish almost, the body of it will roll like that. It's not really a back and forth type of action. It's more like a rolling action when the lure is coming through the water. So I'm going to try to illustrate it right now if it's a rolling, okay? So if it's rolling, that's what the fish is going to see. Almost like an on and off flash that goes on like that. But this lure is not only popular in the New England area. Once I moved down here to the Oklahoma area, the southwest, or the south, this is actually we still have stripers down here too. It's just that our minimums down here are a lot smaller. We don't even actually have a minimum. We have a maximum quantity, and we also have a maximum size limit. So our laws down here are more designed to put fish on a table and not really as a sports fishing experience. Okay, so this lure is still pretty deadly. Okay, if you can go out in the Arkansas River, fish at night. Once again, this lure is deadly at night. Fish at night, full moon, lots of light coming at you with a full moon. This lure is still really deadly, and it is sought after a lot by the local fishermen as well who know about this. A lot of the guys are still fishing off of shad. A lot of them prefer the lures. I personally prefer lures because there's a lot less maintenance in your fishing gear to keep and pack with you, to take out, to restock on your supplies and things like that. So I'm a big fan of lures, and a lot of the local fishermen will tell you this is still their number one choice for striper fishing. For bigger stripers, I'm talking down here in Oklahoma. If you get a 28-inch striper or bigger, that's above average. The average size down here is probably around 20, 22 in most areas. So this is still a deadly lure for anything over 28 inches. And up in New England, I know 28 is your minimum. So yeah, this is what's gonna do it. The other smaller versions, the regular long A, this is not the Magnum. I just have it here just to show you the colors. This one is one of the ones that we actually use a lot down here because we also have walleye down here. I know up in Massachusetts there is no walleye. Well, at least I haven't caught one yet. Well, in my 10 years up there. And this is a good color for down here. And a lot of people will fish these at night as well. Try to find yourself like a good pool in the river. And this at night can be very, very deadly. Okay? So just take it out, get one, try it. And I'm pretty sure you guys won't be disappointed. Once you figure out, the trickiest part to these guys is to figure out the retrieve, because the stripers can be very picky if you're retrieving too slow or retrieving too fast. So figure out the retrieve. Once you got the retrieve down, it is good to go. And these guys are decently heavy and they will cast really, really far. And because they have 3 hooks, your hookup ratio is going to be pretty well also. I'm thinking right around the 80% range. Alright, so hookup ratio is always pretty good with these guys. Just because they have too many hooks, it's almost like it's unfair to have a lure with 3 treble hooks on here. It's 6 inches. It's about every 2 inches. About, well, this is more, this part right here is like maybe 3 inches, and then right behind it, 2.5 inches. So 3 inches, and right after that, about 2.5 inches, and then you got this this lure that swims pretty good, and it does this almost like a barrel roll type of deal. Instead of back and forth, it does a barrel, and it comes in. It's not a really, really deep diving crankbait. I'm thinking 3 to 4 feet from my experience, and it just works very well on big stripers. I know in Massachusetts there's a lot more bigger predatory fish out there. So you're looking at blues, you're looking at stripers, you're looking at maybe other things too. But those are mainly the only 2 I've caught: blue and stripers. They'll hit this good, and when the blues hit them, they will scratch up the paint like you would not believe. So on the other lures, your paint is gonna peel off quick, but on this one it sticks around. Like, you'll see teeth marks here, but the shine is always gonna stick around. Okay, so that's my review on the Bomber Magnum Long A, and I'm flashing some just normal bombers up in here just to give you guys a sense of color. But this was by far one of our favorite nighttime cranking lures when we were still fishing up in Massachusetts, and these were specifically for stripers. And I know at times that it was hard for the local shops just to keep these in stock, and I remember I had to go up and say, I want 10 of these, and the guy had to order me 10. Okay, so that's how popular these were for the ODA family up there before ODA was even created. Alright guys, so if you're from the area, New England, or even if you're chasing after any type of stripers, nighttime crankbait fishing, these are the ones to go with. Okay, hope you guys enjoy the review. Hey, if you watched this far already, I'm pretty sure you like what you've just seen, so please be sure to subscribe and check out our other videos. If you have any pictures you'd like to share with us, please post them up on our Facebook page or tag us on Instagram.